This week, I'm going to share with you my first-time home buying story that ended in a lawsuit and the lessons my husband and I learned from it. My name's Alexandra, and I'm a local realtor down on Florida's Space Coast. I have people calling me every day, and I really enjoy it. So if you have any questions about what it might be like to live here in Florida, go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text message, or send me an email. I've got your answers, and I would love to hear from you. Also, if you want to keep seeing videos like this, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified every Friday morning when I post a new video. All right, let's get into it. In 2015, my husband and I were living in San Diego. I was working for the FBI at the time, and he was just getting out of the Marine Corps. He had been away from his family for so long and had missed so many big events and holidays that we both decided that we wanted to go back to the East Coast to be closer to family that lived in Georgia and Virginia. The FBI approved my job transfer and our house hunt began. After looking at what felt like a million homes, we bought this beautiful little home in Beaufort, Georgia. While our home was livable, it needed a lot of work. The carpets were soiled with cat urine and other stains that I do not wish to know the origin of, so those were the first to go. After ripping out all the carpeting, we decided we'd also rip out the ugly laminate flooring in the kitchen so that we could have the same flooring throughout the first level of our house. This is where things went south. Strangely, there were old envelopes and a bunch of junk mail scattered all over the subflooring in the dining area right by the back door. When the mail was removed, we found this grade A repair job. What you don't see are the pool noodle pieces that were shoved in all of the little crevices. Basically, there was a leak in the threshold of that back door, and the intruding water was causing the subflooring to rot and sag. The previous homeowners decided they would do a DIY repair. They cut out the softest and most rotten parts and replaced it with whatever this is. And then they used their mail to level out the flooring so that you wouldn't notice where the floor was sagging. The leak in the floors were so bad that if we hadn't discovered this, someone could have fallen through into the basement in a few years' time.
Ow.
Now, you're probably wondering, didn't you have the home inspected? Yes, we did hire a professional home inspector, but this was missed. We ended up getting our money back for the inspection because once we knew that that leak was there, it became very obvious when standing down in the basement by looking up at the insulation on the ceiling that there was a leak. The insulation was kind of wet and it was like dripping down off the ceiling a little bit, and you could see a little stain on the floor. That's something as first-time home buyers walking through the home ourselves that we would not have noticed until we found out, about the giant leak. Now, scenarios like this are the number one reason that realtors, home sellers, and home inspectors get sued. While home sellers in both the states of Florida and Georgia are not legally required to fill out a seller's property disclosure, they are required to disclose all major defects of the property, especially ones that may not be readily visible to the buyers. In our case, the sellers did fill out a property disclosure, and they failed to let us know that there was a massive leak in the kitchen, that the floors were rotting, the floors were sagging, and that they tried to cover it up. If you choose to sue someone for a defect that wasn't disclosed, it's very important that you have proof. Now, just saying, "I know that they knew," is not going to be proof enough. In civil court, the burden of proof is on the plaintiff, which would be you. In our case, they used their mail to level the floors, and lots of it. We were able to determine the dates in which the sketchy repair was likely made based on the postage dates on the opened envelopes which had their names on them. Without that, we would not have had a case. Now, my husband and I, we are kind, reasonable people, so we gave the home sellers every chance to settle with us outside of court. We stupidly initially thought that we would do the repairs ourselves and gave them an estimate of about $500 to $600. The homeowner said, "Give us a professional estimate." So we did. We hired a professional contractor to come out there and give us an estimate. We sent that over to them. Then they said that they would pay us after the repairs had been done and we had an official itemized invoice. So we said, okay, we got the repairs done and we gave them the itemized invoice. The home sellers became upset that the finalized invoice was for significantly more. It was about $2,000. Then the initial estimate, my husband and I, two first-time home buyers, we were young, and have no experience in contracting whatsoever had given to them. Now, I agreed with the home sellers that the situation was very sketchy, but certainly not on our end, and we told them that we would see them in court. I just know that the home sellers saw 2 young kids that they could take advantage of. They had no idea that one of us worked for the FBI, already had numerous evidence bags lined up, and binders of documentation ready to take them down in court. Anyways, we showed up in our fancy suits, they showed up in jeans and a sweater, and the judge rolled in either extremely hungover or just having woken up from a nap. She was completely over it before it even started. At one point, one of the previous homeowners fixated on one of the photos that had been taken when they listed their house in the kitchen. And she said, "Your Honor, I need you to know that that trash can is not there to hide what was underneath it." And the judge laughed because nobody had said that. No one had brought anything up about the trash can, so she totally outed herself. The sellers both admitted that they knew about the repair, they knew about the leak, and they purposefully did not disclose it. They then tried to argue with the judge about why they shouldn't be held responsible, but the judge wasn't having it. So we won our case, and let me tell you, that felt so good. So here are the lessons we learned. Number 1, disclose, disclose, disclose. If you are selling your home, disclose everything, because the smallest little thing could land you in court, whether or not the other side ends up winning. But just the act of having to go to court and go through all that is a pain. So just disclose everything that you know about. Number 2, home inspectors usually cannot be held liable if they miss something during inspection. In fact, a lot of home inspectors will actually have you sign some agreements that if they miss some major defect or something during their inspection, that they are not liable for that. Some of them will have little clauses that say, if they didn't find something major, you can get back your deposit or you can get back what you paid them, but that you cannot take them to court. Number 3, once you close on your home, your realtor is not responsible for systems that break or defects that you find in the home. Now, if you end up needing to sue like we did, your realtor can help you get in touch with the listing agent of the property and the home sellers and get all the information that you will need to do that. But chances of your realtor actually knowing about that major defect and playing a role in hiding it from you is highly unlikely. So don't go after your realtor if you find out that there's a leak under the sink or something like that. It's not their fault. Their job is to help you get through your transaction smoothly. They are not home inspectors. That's why you hire a home inspector. I also want to tack on to the end here that home systems break. Things in homes go wrong. Even if you buy new construction, things are going to go wrong in that house. So a month down the road, if your AC goes out or something, your realtor didn't have any part in that. You now own the home and it's your job to, get that system fixed. Now, I always recommend my home buyers either purchase a home warranty for themselves or try and negotiate it into the deal when they're buying a home. That way, for at least a year, all major systems will be covered if something happens. Number 4, do your own research. This is so important. The vendors that your realtor is recommending to you are just people that have done a fabulous job for their clients in the past. But it's super important for you to look into each person they recommend and make the best decision for yourself. We actually had quite a few issues with the contractor that our realtor recommended repair the flooring in our house, and I found through a quick open source search that this guy had a rap sheet the length of my arm. He had a massive criminal history, and if I had done my research, I never would have hired this person and invited them into my home, and we could have avoided a lot of issues that we ended up having with him. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Thanks for watching. Bye!